Hi, it's Linda from Homeschooling6.com, and today I wanted to share with you my coloring book collection. I've been slowly getting some coloring books, and I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of the paper weight, I guess you could say. And I thought I would compare it with the Joanna Basford coloring books, because I know almost everybody has one of her coloring books. Just so many, beautiful ones. So I love her coloring books. I haven't actually colored in one though. So if you have one of these coloring books, this is what I'm going to compare it to. And because hers are pretty thick, and you can use watercolors, so you can see the paper right here, it's pretty thick. You can use watercolors. I use these a lot when I use my watercolor pencils. I love this brand. It's the Derwent Inktense, sorry. On the 72 pack, they have smaller packs, but I love that. I love having them all. And I use this with it, and so I color, and then I just kind of spread the ink around with this. You can use the paintbrush as well, but that's a lot easier. So so these ones are pretty thick, and you could use all kinds of different coloring utensils. Another one that I got is this one, and I really like this one. It has a lot of pretty pictures, and I'll have like a peek inside videos. But the paper is not as thick as the Joanna Basford ones, or like the Secret Garden. It's not as thick as these, but it's still pretty thick. You could use, I'm sure you can use markers and the colored pencils and so forth with this without it bleeding through. I recently purchased the Dr. Seuss one. I can't wait to color in this one. This looks like a lot of fun. The paper on this one is about the same as the one Come Home to Color. So these two, the paper thickness is about the same. Oops, upside down. This one is a new favorite, and I actually got this one to follow along on some of the YouTube tutorials with coloring. This is Romantic Country, and they also have 2 and 3, which are on back order right now, so I am waiting for those. And this one I found is just a little bit thinner than the other two, than these two. And let me show you. So as you can see, it's a little bit thinner, but still pretty thick. And I got this one, as I mentioned, because I wanted to follow along on some YouTube channels, and this is, I'm practicing my coloring skills. So this one you can use the watercolors and markers as well without them bleeding through in the back. And of course, these ones were done with Prismacolor pencils. I bought this set to follow along on the tutorial, and I love these. These are, if you can afford to get these are really nice. They're just so soft when you color, and the colors are really nice, so I really like that. And this one's thinner. It's almost the same as this coloring book, as the Romantic Country coloring book. I think it's just a tiny bit thinner. I am able to use markers. I bought these markers by Crayola, and there's like, I think it comes in a pack of 4 or 5. And I really thought this was going to bleed through a lot of my coloring books, but surprisingly it doesn't. I can even use these in coloring books that are, the paper weight is even thinner than this. And let me show you. There's a picture I colored in here with that, or traced, and I thought it was at the beginning. Sorry, here it is. So I colored this with, or traced it with one of these markers, and as you can see on the other side it didn't go through. And this is right here, those are gel pens, and again that didn't go through. So these are really neat. I really like these. And there's 4 or 5 colors that come in a pack. I bought these a while ago to use with some of my Thinking Tree coloring books. So I got several of these. And all the paper with the Thinking Tree coloring books are pretty much the same. So I've done a lot of coloring in this one, and let me show you the paper weight. So the paper is thinner. It's a lot thinner than the Dr. Seuss and the Come Home to Color. And when you're using markers in this one, so right here my daughter colored this picture with markers, and you'll see that it did go through, but there's no pictures on the back, so it's okay. So you could use markers, and I used watercolors with this one, and you see it kind of sounds like a little crinkly, so it didn't go through, but it is a little bit of, it crinkled the paper some. And I used these with the watercolor pencil, or these little water paintbrush thingies. So I used that here, and I thought I had a page with gel pens in this one, but I don't. So on these ones, and this is another one, it has the paper about almost the same weight as this one, so the watercolors and such will make the paper crinkly in this one as well. And I also have these coloring books. These ones are really inexpensive and fun to do. I do my practicing before I color in one of my favorite coloring books, or actually it's this one. I haven't colored in this one yet because I'm practicing in all my other ones. This is from the Thinking Tree as well. So, but in this one I have used, and this one is pretty thin. It almost feels a little bit thinner than the Thinking Tree ones. It might be the same, but they both feel pretty close together. And in this one, I think I did use gel pens. Let me see if I could find a page. So I used gel pens. I don't know, I can't recall the brand. I have so many, they're kind of mixed up now. But on the back, it did kind of go through, and sometimes I do press a little bit hard because I'm trying to fill it in, but I don't know if you can see that right there. It kind of went through a little bit. And also I used a little bit of the Derwent coloring pencils on this one. And on the other side, it did go through a little bit, but again, this one is blank as well. So you can see it went through a little bit right there. So these are blank in the back as well. And let's see, I think that's it. So I hope you found that somewhat helpful with wanting to know what happens when you use markers. So all of them you can pretty much use markers. You know, again, like with this one, it'll show up on the back, but as long as you don't have a picture on the other side, it's okay. So that's it, and I will have videos of each one so you can look inside them on my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and have a great day.